Real estate is boring on purpose, but it is the most powerful tool to build wealth and to carry wealth through generation after generation. Hey friends, welcome to the Brandy podcast. I'm your host, Brandy, and in this podcast, we're going to talk through all things real estate, wealth building, and investing. And what I really want you to do is reach your financial freedom and live your life worth living. Hey friends, welcome back to the Brandy podcast. Today we're going to talk about something bigger than properties, something bigger than profit. How do we prepare our kids to steward the wealth that we're building? Because let's be honest, building real estate is not the challenge. Keeping it in the family is the real challenge. Most parents think teaching kids about money is teaching them about allowance, teaching them about saving coins in a jar and taking to the bank when they're full, and that's all fine, but real estate is something deeper. It teaches them 4 things that we're going to go over. So the first one is delayed gratification. And if you think about, as a child, something that maybe they've been saving up for, or really wanting for their birthday, or really wanting as a Christmas present. That's delayed gratification in their world. But if you're trying to translate that into the real world, delayed gratification, buying real estate, so saving up your money, saving for a down payment, and then buying real estate, they may think, is this really, as easy as saving for something that you can just buy in a year? Real estate is definitely delayed gratification. Similar to investing, interest compounds and all of that. So if you're investing in stocks and you're looking at it, okay, and here's my money, if it does at this percent growth, it's going to be here. And real estate's similar. So you may have a 10-year goal, 20-year goal, 30-year goal, whatever it is, to accumulate so many properties with so much passive income so that you can retire. Your retirement that you have is a set amount. That 401k you've been saving for is a set amount, and you want to live a life that is bigger, that is more fulfilling. You want to leave a legacy to your kids. So delayed gratification is a huge example of, something that real estate teaches that's deeper for children. The second thing that real estate teaches that's much deeper is responsibility. And when we talk about responsibility, as a child, responsibility to them might mean cleaning their room, taking out the trash, small chores like that. And as they get older, you're going to dive deeper into these topics, but responsibility when it comes to real estate, owning properties, property managing them, you can teach them how, all right, you have to pay your bills first for this property. You have to pay all the utilities. You have to, show them as they get older and the more that they can understand that it's responsibility. It's not just buying a property and then, blowing all the money that you make from it. You have to be responsible and pay the bills and pay the taxes, pay the utilities and all of that. So it does teach responsibility. The third thing it teaches is ownership. And so learning ownership is kind of hard. If you think about kids and ownership, the only thing they really have is the things in their bedroom, potentially maybe as they get older, their car. And let's be real, parents, you probably bought it for them. But their version of ownership is very limited. And so you teaching what does ownership mean through real estate, it gives them a deeper understanding of true ownership. So people that own their own home, they have a sense of ownership. People that are buying real estate and owning property, that's a whole nother level of ownership. And so ownership from a standpoint of something you own, yes, but ownership from a standpoint of something that you're proud of, what you're building, you're responsible for. If repairs happen, leaks happen, who are they calling? You, the landlord. The landlord. Be a landlord, they say. So that's the third thing that real estate teaches children. The fourth thing is long-term thinking. And so similar to delayed gratification, for kids, long-term thinking is, let me study for this test I have next week. That's long-term for them, right? But long-term thinking, if you're thinking about building an investment portfolio in real estate, you may have a 10-year goal, a 20-year goal, a 30-year goal. That is long-term to even understand as a child, as a teenager, even as a young adult. And so I think it just teaches them that you have to plan in life. You have to set goals, and things are not going to happen. It's not going to be instant gratification, and it's not going to be something that they're going to wake up and be a millionaire. We want to start age appropriate. So if you've got young kids, let's say we're elementary age kids, you have to be very age appropriate. So teaching them real estate might look like you drive by a house and you say, that helps pay for your future. That's all you can say. That's very simple, right? Your 5 to 8 year old, may or may not know, but they see the house and they think, oh, okay, that's money for mom and dad, right? So as they get older, you're going to be diving into deeper things. So maybe they're middle school age, maybe they're high school. Then you're really talking about like how much is that tenant paying rent? How much are your expenses? And so what are you truly walking away with? What does net income look like for these properties? So I think, depending on their ages as to how much that you actually can teach them. A young child, they don't even know what that word means. And so you might say something like, that's what these people pay to live in a warm house that keeps them safe. That's something real that a younger age kid would understand. But so just keeping it age appropriate depending on what stages of life your kids are in, and then the more they're capable of learning and understanding, the deeper dive you go into the details of expense, profit, P&L, all the things. So the biggest lesson here is real estate is boring on purpose. So it's all about consistency. It's all about patience. If you think about long-term real estate building, you're building a portfolio, you're building wealth, you're trying to leave this legacy to your kids. It's boring. It's truly boring. But it is the most powerful tool to build wealth and to carry wealth through generation after generation. And so I'll leave you with this. If your kids grow up thinking real estate is normal, you're already winning. If you're having these conversations around them, your property, maybe your goal is just one property, by the time they graduate or something like that, you're already winning. So talk it around them, help them understand it. The older that they get, you're winning. Because the goal is this, right? We want to be good stewards and we want the legacy to continue on, right? So what are you teaching them all along so that when you pass, they continue this legacy going and they've got all this real estate. They don't just sell it all and, crash everything you've been building for 20 to 40 plus years. So hopefully this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in building wealth, head over to brandyleiden.com. I would love to connect with you today. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want to know more about investing, wealth building, or real estate in general, head on over to brandyleiden.com and you can book a consult with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more episodes like this one. See you next time.